Hi, this is my review of Killswitch, the documentary. This was a very interesting documentary that focuses on how the government has tried to gain control over what people see and put on the internet. How they are trying to keep the American people from knowing too much. This documentary discusses two very important people in the fight for our freedom to do this. The freedom to say what we want and do online and through other forms of communications without having Big Brother step in to tell us what we can and cannot do. First is hacktivist Aaron Swartz, who at age 14 helped co-design the RSS, Rich Site Summary. At 15, he was the architect for Creative Commons, which we of course use here at Full Sail. And at 19, he began Infogami, which ended up being Reddit. Swartz believed that everybody was entitled to all the information, that we should be able to get as much information as possible. This included educational journals, what have you. So he used MIT's data network to download nearly 5 million academic journal articles because he felt they should be for everyone and not just MIT students. Of course, he was arrested by the MIT police, and Secret Service agent also arrested him. The federal authorities ended up charging him with 4 felonies: wire fraud and violations of the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. Swartz once asked a senator why the government felt that it was necessary to control the flow of information on the internet. And that senator said that we have too much freedom in putting what we want on the internet and looking at what we want on the internet, and that it has to be controlled. In other words, we have to be controlled. In other words, we have to control the media, because the internet is the media, and it's bigger than television, it's bigger than radio now, it's bigger than newspapers, and they are wanting to control that flow of information from that media channel. So the government wants to step in and control what information we are allowed to get. And if they had their way, we would only be able to look at kitten videos and pictures and stupid memes, and not be able to know what's going on in our government, what's going on in our state, and the big news, the stuff that we need to be informed about. They want to leave us dumbed down so we won't fight back when things are unethical. Like Edward Snowden bravely came forward with to tell the American people that we were being spied on by our own government after 9/11, that they were able to hear our phone conversations, that they were able to see our texts, see pictures that we send through text, through email, that they're privy to all this information. And they claim that it is for our own protection. But the problem with this is that they're getting too much information and they're not able to keep up with it. And this is why we had the Boston bombing. Because they had this whole flow of information that they can't keep up with because they're too busy looking at us instead of looking outside. By Swartz and Snowden standing up for what is right, we still have the freedom to write what we want, read what we want, and communicate what we want to others. Unfortunately, Swartz's fight ended with his death after being charged on 9 more felonies that were violations of Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, according to the government. And this was after he successfully protested against the Anti-Piracy Act, which would have gave the government full right to come in and pretty much tell us what we could see on the internet, what websites we could look at. Could have taken away. They could have taken away YouTube. Anything that they deemed we should not have, they could have taken it away. He is the reason we are still free to complain about who won the presidential election and post pictures of our dinner. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be able to do that. And it is unfortunate that he felt the only way out for him was to kill himself, and when the government was breathing down his neck. The fact is, the government needs to stay out of our communications. They need to let us have as much information as possible. And that's just it.